Okay, today we are going to cover the topic of pieces of software that we have in our battle set
kit.
of applications on our laptops.
Everyday carry kit.
Yes, everyday carry kit. So we're going to talk about apps that we always use. We're going to talk about the apps that we always install, even if we don't use them. About, let's say, legacy apps that we still keep on our laptops because sometimes we might need them, and stuff like that. And we can actually expand this to other, let's say, additional accessories hardware-wise that we carry in our backpacks that we consider to be necessary to do some parts of our job. So, with that being said, let's roll the intro. Okay, so who wants to start? Do you want to start or should I?
I think that you should start because let's first talk about one thing. When we were preparing for this,
We prepared for this?
Yes. Okay. In that 15 seconds that we're talking about this, I actually realized that we have a completely different outlook on how a laptop should be working.
Yeah, our approaches are diagonally different.
I'm going to start with me because it's easier. I consider all my laptops, because I have multiple of them, to be completely dispensable, and they need to be always in such a state that I'm not going to lose any data or any sweat if I need to reinstall them. If they go bad, if they break, if they get stolen, I don't want to be in any way burdened by what is on the laptop.
Okay.
So my laptops are designed or installed in such a way that I have the applications that I need.
Mm-hmm.
I have Dropbox as the way of synchronizing everything across all my devices. And
break his Dropbox, break it.
Yeah, so I have my Dropbox as a way of connecting my devices. And the only thing that is on the laptop itself is usually my mailbox inside, basically as a cache. I don't get any documents on the laptop. I don't keep them there. I try not to save anything locally. So my laptop is just a throwaway device.
Okay. My approach is somewhat different. It's not completely different to yours. We are using my, let's say, Synology NAS service for, let's say, business-related stuff that we do here for presentations, lab work, exams, whatnot. I do have OneDrive, for example, if I want to store something, but I stopped using it. I mentioned in one of the previous episodes after it kind of expired on me with my mobile phone. And for the most part, unlike you, I do cache my data locally, always, because there are situations in which I do not have internet access on purpose. This is not a technological limitation. It's a scenario-based limitation. For some of my clients are air-gapped. They don't have internet access. So I need to have not necessarily always all of my data with me, but most of it, at least, so that I can do my work properly.
Okay.
But I also have basically backups of most of my computers running on a daily basis. So for the most part, it wouldn't be a big undertaking for me to kind of like reinstall the laptop if I needed to. It wouldn't be such a big one. We are, let's say, there is a percentage of difference in the use case that you and I have, but it's largely similar actually in a sense. It's just that I do have local copies of all of the information that I have, but I also have BitLocker and stuff on my laptop as well, so I usually encrypt data too.
Okay, so let's now break down the applications.
Okay.
So how many games do you have on a laptop?
Unless we are talking about the built-in games, none.
Okay, same here.
That's the first thing that I deinstall if Windows starts automatically installing that. You know that there are those additional games in Windows Store that when you install from scratch, it starts downloading them. So I remove all of that.
Okay, then the next set of or group of applications, communications. How many?
Are we counting the browsers as well?
No. We are counting only messaging slash video conferencing slash whatever communication device applications there are.
I have Viber, WhatsApp. I have the old legacy Skype as well for some of the customers. That's it in terms of the communications from the chat perspective. In terms of online platforms, basically everything. Okay. WebEx, Zoom, the Blue Jeans from Red Hat, Teams, basically everything there is, because different clients, different companies that I work for have different requirements in terms of the online platform that they use. So I always have all of those. I have basically all of the clients installed on all of my laptops, because oftentimes I have to jump on a call if I don't have a client. There's going to be problems.
Okay, so I'm not going to count Office, parts of the Microsoft Office
we have that by default.
This is by default on all my laptops, so basically the Teams is part of the Office, or it isn't, but it is.
They are removing it from Office, actually.
Yes, because they want to make it a separate product. The OneNote and the Teams are going to be removed. But okay,
it's also related to some kind of legal battle as well. But
yes, but anyway,
it's a good thing.
Yes, removing Teams from anything is a good thing.
But not what I said, but thank you.
Yes, because I have only one problem with the Teams. It's the artificial limitation on the resolution of what you can send actually to the other side. So this is just why my little gripe. If they solved it, my fault. But I haven't tried it once I had the problem.
What happened to you? You used to have many more complaints. Well, let me count mine. First and foremost, the latest versions of Teams integrated ChatGPT as well.
Okay.
Which can get annoying a little bit. That's the first thing. The second thing, Teams do not work with a lot of professional audio cards.
Okay.
That's irritating as hell. For example, we talked about universal audio. Universal audio cards as the Apollos of the world, etc. I'm not talking about the Volts, the cheaper ones. They do not work in Teams directly. So I have a separate sound card that I send Apollo audio signal from into that card. But they have it for other reasons. It's not only that reason.
So Bering is working on Teams.
Yeah, sure. Blue screen. The third reason, and if I may be so honest, this one is by far the most irritating. Some of the latest updates of Teams introduced Teams as an even more irritating thing than it used to be. With I need at least 2 physical screens to kind of like manage my Teams session. One for, let's say, for the screen share that I do, and one for the Teams interface. And they have an annoying habit of always going, when you minimize it and when you bring it back to the maximum size, they always go to the primary screen, which is annoying as hell. Then green screen capability works okay for the most part, but sometimes gets really weird. Not really good. Sharing system sounds, well, most times doesn't work at all in my experience, no matter if it's OS, if it's Mac or Windows. What else?
But at least the using 2 different accounts on Teams works.
No, I was actually going to say something that was introduced in one of the latest updates, which is more irritating than that. This is irritating as well. You're correct. I cannot show this here on my laptop, I'm afraid, because my laptop is logged into one account only. But if you work for a company that has multiple Teams accounts, and or if you have mandatory roaming profiles, then it gets very much fun. Because let's say that I log into Teams in my domain-based computer today, punch in username and password, leave it at that, and save the password in. Reboot the machine from today to tomorrow, for example. You restart it, you boot it again in the morning. And then Teams startup, they basically log you in back, but then they log you off, while at the same time in the background, you do see the calendar of your Teams. While on the so you have the background screen of Teams with all of your calendar assignments, but on top of that you have a screen that asks you to log in, which is perfect for privacy.
I think that the better part is when you're logged into a domain account and you are trying to use a personal account for some reason or the other, there is no way to switch.
Yeah, it's very user-friendly there.
Yes. So okay, but we are not going to bash too much on Microsoft because you already did this a couple of episodes ago, and this is something that is becoming a standard, and I don't like that because I think
Yes, you do. I don't.
okay, but Microsoft is a tool. It may be a blunt instrument, and it may be.
I knew it.
So it is a tool. It
There
is
we
a
go.
tool, and I don't.
There you go. You're back.
Yes. So let's talk about my communication. Discord.
Yeah, I have Discord as well. Sorry.
Yes.
But only for one thing, talking to our students.
But okay. I must say that I'm following a lot of people on Discord because Discord is the tool to use if you want to keep in contact, for example, with AI, if you want to keep into contact with some of the utilities that I use, if you want to keep in contact with some of the different channels that I support on Patreon. So
Okay.
a lot of communities are there. So Discord is something that is useful.
Agreed.
I hate the implementation on the Electron. Because I hate the Electron as such, but
Yeah, the negative vibes of the Electron just kills you.
no, the vibes of Electron kill me because Electron is unstable as okay. Anyways, so
You're spinning out of control.
so Discord, Teams, what else? Viber, WhatsApp. But I use WhatsApp usually from the from the phone and from the browser. I don't have a dedicated on my laptop. I don't have a dedicated client.
Interesting.
One thing, WhatsApp is introducing ability to use WhatsApp on multiple phones. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, they didn't have that. You can have it
Yes.
on phone and many computers, but not on multiple phones. You're correct.
Yes. So this is going to be fun. But okay.
Okay, that's
So
good.
let me go with the next. What do you use to write down your things that you need to be written down? Because I use Joplin.
I don't have a specific app for that. I just use Notepad or Stickit or whatever they're called, Sticky.
Sticky, okay?
Yeah.
Because I use Joplin, and Joplin is an amazing thing if you want to use it by yourself.
Mhm.
It's a Markdown language based, basically note-taking application. It is able to hold everything that I need. So I keep all my information in it, including everything that I need to know and write down about my clients. So this is a nice thing to have.
By the way, on the mobile phone, I use Samsung Notes for that, and there's a reason for that. It's easy to share them via, let's say, a chat tool like Viber or something. You can actually share your notes, and you can have checkboxes in your notes, which is
Okay.
perfect for shopping lists and stuff like that. But I don't use that on computer. You have. I think that by the end of the episode, we are going to realize that you have many more advanced applications than I do in these human terms, let's say.
Okay. So in robotic terms, which browser do you use?
Oh man, that's difficult. So my primary browser is for the most part Chrome,
Okay, me too.
which is pissing me off to no end for the past year. Many reasons. I use Firefox for a lot of things that don't work properly in Chrome. I do not use Edge for the life of me. And I do use Internet Explorer a lot in system administration.
Okay, Internet Explorer is the go-to tool that you hate to use but have to.
No, I like using it for that specific purpose. It works perfectly for HPI logos of the world, for storage explorers of the world on fiber channel switches, and many other things like that. It's perfect for that. Works really well.
Almost all the network cameras of the world because they have ActiveX controls.
Yeah.
So, okay, but this is a necessary tool. It's not something that I want to use, but I have to. So I need to use the Edge. I need to use the Firefox, the Chrome. The Edge is the thing that I actually keep on using just for the simple reason is that this is the weapon of last resort. Because
Okay.
since I don't use Edge, the Edge has the cleanest configuration of all the browsers that they have.
Yeah,
on my
nothing
computer. Nothing is in it, so I can be almost sure that I'm not going to trigger any extensions. I'm not going to trigger any additional tools. It is just going to be a clean browser.
I only use it in private mode. at
Yes, okay,
times. That's
yes, okay.
it.
But for me,
Similar.
Edge is always in private mode because nothing is installed on it. It is trying to push me to log in, but I don't care. So basically, my primary browser is also Chrome. I think that I'm going to switch, and I think that I'm going to switch to Firefox soon, because Chrome is getting completely out of hand. And the reasons that I'm not switching to Firefox is basically laziness.
You have a lot of stuff then to migrate. It's not as easy as...
Yes, but I tried migrating. You might not believe it, but
I know.
it's easier to migrate from Chrome to Edge than it is from Chrome to Firefox. Actually, I tried. Edge is able to migrate you in a couple of minutes. You're going to all the passwords are going to get migrated. All the settings are going to get migrated, including all the history and everything else. So basically, we just continue working in Edge, but I'm not ready for this stuff. I'm not ready.
You're
for
just
this
not ready.
I'm just waiting for the Edge version 10 or 11 until I'm basically sure that this is going to work.
You don't want to be beta tester of Edge while you're beta testing Windows 11. That's completely reasonable.
Okay, so whatever Edge is going to be shipped with Windows 12, I'm going to run with it. Okay, now for the specialized applications. So we could go with different things, because mostly both you and me are doing part network configuration, part different configurations. Let's talk about first VPNs.
Okay.
How many do you use?
Basically only one nowadays, but I do have a couple of others still installed, although I could delete them. We both use FortiClient for almost everything that we do.
Yes.
I do have OpenVPN for connecting to my office. You have it as well, I know. And I do have Cisco AnyConnect for somebody. I don't remember which company, but I have to connect to them from time to time when they give me a call. But that's once a year.
I must say that I'm using SoftEther, and I'm using Zero Tier.
I'm using Windows built-in VPN as well.
But I'm using Zero Tier to be always connected to my go-to server that holds my personal data at home, so that I don't need to connect at home, and I don't need VPN connections directly to the home. But at the same time, to be able to actually completely have my laptop completely clean of all the data that might be on it.
While you're discussing that, I just discovered an application that I have to delete because I never ever use it. It's one of your favorites.
Okay, so anyways, now for the next thing, remote connection applications.
Remote desktop.
TeamViewer?
I do have TeamViewer, of course. I'm actually, yesterday I was just considering that I'm going to just take the plunge and buy a license for it because it just gets on my nerves to get disconnected constantly. I use remote desktop for the most part. Of course, PuTTY for shell access. I do use AnyConnect at times for some of the clients, but not often, once every couple of months. But I usually don't have it deployed. I just download it and use it either in standalone mode or I deploy it and then delete. What else? Yeah, that's it, I think.
Okay, I am different in this perspective. I'm using VNC. I'm using remote desktop connection if I need to, because I'm trying to avoid it. I hate the extra step. I hate the extra step of having to connect to VPN and then connecting somewhere.
I have the remote desktop connection manager as well, so that I can have multiple profiles saved.
I'm going to say this for the last because I have one of those also. But so VNC, I have Splashtop.
I don't think I have VNC anymore, but maybe I still do.
I have Splashtop Business. Splashtop is for me the go-to application because it's amazing, it's quick, and it enables me to connect to everywhere I need to be quickly from the phone and from the desktop.
Whatever works for you, man.
Okay, so then I'm also using something called MobaXterm.
I have that as well.
And MobaXterm is, I know, I recommended it to you.
No, you didn't. I used it before.
Yes, but MobaXterm is probably the most useful connecting application for connecting to anywhere, because it is able to use both the serial port, so I can use my USB to serial to connect to the network equipment. I use it to connect to SSH sessions if I need to connect to any Linuxes. It is able to connect to VNC. It is able to connect to remote desktop connection. and it is able to store all of those in sessions, so I can actually paying for it because I have probably over 150 different connections stored in it.
Can I go off on a tangent for a second here? This is going to be a rant
Okay.
for a couple of minutes. There is no limit to how pissed off I am at USB to serial adapters. Okay? But my story starts way back.
Okay.
My story with USB to serial adapters starts in 2005. It's been almost 20 years now.
Okay.
Because for some, let's say, family members, I used to do some software updates for the voice over IP phones.
Okay.
I gotta say that with the quality of those adapters back then, out of 10 phones, at least 2 got burned. And we're talking about a couple of 100 kilobytes of firmware that needed to be uploaded to the phone. That story is something that, so it's been like 18 years since I started doing that. It was only last year that I found a USB to serial adapter that works without the hitch. That being said, there's a USB to serial that works, and there's USB to serial that works.
Okay.
My biggest gripe with those adapters now is actually related to this laptop that I have right here. So this Dell XPS that I have. In the laptop episode, I talked about how frustrating of an experience it has been to have this laptop, because it's expensive as hell, and it has multiple people in my, let's say, broader business environment have it. One of them had to change the screen. One of them had to change the motherboard 2 times. For me, from day one, I mentioned that I had the battery problems, which I solved last year when I bought a new one. Now it works perfectly. I'm actually using it via battery right now. And the second problem that it has is USB, especially Thunderbolt port, which breaks a lot, and which has been the bane of my existence since the first day that I got this laptop. Again, this is MacBook Pro money laptop. It's not cheap. I mean, it's quality made, that's all good, but the ports and some of the things inside just... Anyway, I spent a couple of years of my life looking for a good USB to serial adapter that works with this laptop properly. And only last year I was able to find one that's USB-C. Those usually are worse than the regular USB for some reason, at least for me. That's my experience. But now, with this laptop, I just stopped caring. I just use the regular USB adapter without the C, because the C port, which is also coincidentally the Thunderbolt port, doesn't really work properly.
Okay, but USB adapters to USB to COM adapters or serial adapters have a big problem. There is a prolific chip in it, and the prolific chip, they even had a big, there was a big affair linked to it, because they realized that there are so many counterfeit chips out there that they not only stopped publishing drivers, but they actively started disabling the adapters or making adapters not work, which were using counterfeit chips. So it took me a while to understand that there is a price point under which you are basically only getting counterfeit chips.
I get that. I didn't know that from the top of my head when I was buying them. I know that now. What you said is not new information for me. But that being said, I never, ever, ever bought a cheap adapter. I'm not your AliExpress man. You are that guy.
Yes, but there are some things that I don't buy on AliExpress.
You saw my USB adapters, USB to Ethernet adapters that I bought for those Anchor ones. They're expensive.
Yes, no. But it's not about being expensive. It's being actually working. I bought the reason why I'm not buying those things from AliExpress is because back way then I bought an extremely cheap Bluetooth adapter, and I bought I think 3 of them or so. And
because you always buy things in pairs or quadruples.
Yes, because I keep losing them. Basically, the only way for me to keep working is to have a single device in my home, a single device in my office, and then one with me in the backpack, and then try to not lose any of them.
Welcome to the world of convenience.
Yes, okay, but so the convenience is there. The problem was that when I bought the Chinese made Bluetooth adapter, I realized that they were cloned. So they had the same address across all of them. So when I was trying to connect to my PC, I wasn't able to because it kept connecting to other device because it didn't realize which device it was connecting to. So if I had my PC and my laptop on, basically both the adapters were behaving as one. And then I realized, okay, I'm not going to go to this again. So I decided I'm going to buy my serial adapters in the regular channels. And it took me a while. It took me a while because it took me probably 4 or 5 adapters before I found one that was actually working. And I think that the magic price is somewhere around 20-25 euros.
Agreed.
And then you are mostly like, you are probably going to get an adapter that is going to at least work once.
So our former colleague,
yes,
who left the company before I hired you, when he left me one of these prolific adapters. Never worked properly. That being said, I bought, I think it's a TP-Link or something like that, USB-C that works perfectly. But my go-to cable for that, it's not an adapter, it's a cable. For that, for the past couple of years, has been the Fortinet thingy. USB to RJ45
USB
because
console.
that works.
USB console, yes.
Yeah, because that works with everything that I ever tried to. I actually saved a couple of IT, and I wouldn't say careers, but situations for some of my colleagues by gifting a couple of those cables, which are not necessarily cheap. But, it's by far the most convenient way of doing the things that I need to do, because everything that I need to do console-wise, I can do with that cable.
Yes. I must say that since I'm a ham radio operator, sometimes I actually need a straight COM port. Because some of the devices that I'm using, so some of the transceivers that I'm using, have a COM port control. So I need to control them directly. I cannot use the RG45 port to control them because they're actually using a normal 9-pin port. So I need to have a device that is actually USB to RS232, no RJ. So, but anyways, let's continue the applications.
Sorry for the tangent, but it needed to be said.
Yes,
Very
okay. It's just what we are using. Now for let's call it the rest of the things. I usually have a couple of applications installed on my laptop. Right now I'm looking at them that I must have, and they are not, I would say, call them normal. So 2 things that I always need to have. One is GreenShot. GreenShot is an application that enables me to grab screenshots and quickly either copy paste them or send them through image URL or whatever. The GreenShot is probably the most useful one that I can remember, but it is superseded by things that actually Windows did. So taking a screenshot in Windows is pretty much what I do all the time with GreenShot, but I would be able to do it in newer version of Windows.
With some of the Windows 11 updates that we discussed.
No, I think it's Windows. In Windows 11 it also works. But I'm so used to the old application because I'm using this for the last whatever years. So I don't mind just using it. Because basically what I can do is I can change the shortcuts and then directly connect it to print screen and the screen key and use it directly. I can also do this with the Windows application. But since GreenShot is by default done in this way, I don't need to do any reconfiguration. I just install and that's it. The other one is Search Everything.
Okay, you mentioned that in one of the episodes.
Void Tools Search Everything, and I cannot say how many times this saved me searching for anything. Because the way Windows search works is, first, you are never going to know which version of the search tool you are going to get when you start searching in Windows. So,
especially in Windows 11.
Okay, in any Windows, because basically, whenever there is an update, there is equal chance that you're going to get a new search engine installed.
Yes, Windows updates are equal opportunity Windows search breaker.
Yes, so sometimes the search is going to be working, sometimes it's not. There is a feature of NTFS file system that basically has its own journal. Search Everything is able to index this journal and extremely quickly search through the entire disk space that you have. It only searches through the names of the files, so there is a limitation there. But you can search through probably 4 or 5 terabytes of files in a matter of fractions of seconds. So it is able to do, once it's indexed all the files, and it only takes probably 45 seconds or so on a huge disk, you can search for anything. And this is the reason why I use it. And it is especially useful if you're trying to find the ISO file to install something or a particular document that you know part of the name of. So you can just actually go, input the name, find it, double click it, and then go on.
Let's stop there for a second.
Yes.
I have a related topic that we can definitely cover. I had many experiences of people laughing at me or kind of expressing their, let's say, surprise at the amount of icons that I have on my desktop, which some people relate to tidiness or lack thereof, which is okay. But my general question to you is actually partially related to that and something else. I am one of the worst people in terms of organizing my data if I have multiple laptops and multiple desktop computers. Hence the reason why I moved to Synology solution that I mentioned a couple of times. And I'm still trying to work through that, because what I would actually need to do is take like a month-long vacation and finally sort and organize all the data that I have. For example, I don't know if you remember my older Lenovo laptop, yes. Y series. It's sitting back at home, 1 terabyte SSD with a lot of data that I don't have anywhere else. It's sitting on top of one of my synthesizers, and it's been there for the past 2 years or whatnot. I haven't even turned it on, but I need to migrate the data. Luckily, this year, our academic year finishes a little bit earlier, so I'm probably going to finally have some time. But organizing data seems to be a big problem.
I am completely with you. I have almost no idea where most of my data is. So my solution for this was first Dropbox. And the other thing is that I have a NAS at home that has a directory that is called basically Mix. And then I just dump everything into it. Mm-hmm. And once in the blue moon, I go there and then I just at least sort the files by the file names.
You get the itch.
No. I just there is a utility that I use at home that is able to sort the files by extensions. Mm-hmm. So it basically creates a directory for PDFs, AVIs, and so on, and just dumps the files in them. And this is the most I got to having my data sorted. At least
organized.
Sorted. Let's not call it organized. Organization is not organized.
I had to do it.
Yes, but anyways, the data is a big problem. And this is why I use everything, because everything is able to go through FTPs. It is able to go to different other devices that I have. So it is able to sort of kind of give me information on where something is.
Where you're lacking in organization, it makes up for that.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Cool.
Okay, now let's talk about...
Wait a second. Let's see what I have that's weird and maybe not usual.
No, we haven't got to the weird point.
Okay.
So weird point is the rest of the applications that we have. For example, right now I have an IP watcher that is able to tell me what is my outside IP for my laptop. I need it for some reason or the other.
That's why you go to internet browser and say, what's my IP?
Yes. The other thing is I have POV ray, so persistent vision ray, the ray tracing program from the 90s.
Why?
Because I was experimenting with artificial ChatGPT. ChatGPT is actually able to provide to create input files for the Povre, so I can
Lord.
I can actually do that.
Now I get it.
And this is fun because the application that was written for the 20 years old hardware is extremely quick on the laptops, so I can play with it. It makes no sense. It's basically the worst version of the solitaire ever, but it's fun. It is fun.
By the way, now that I mentioned my old Lenovo Y series laptop, I have something there that's a game.
Okay, which one?
You know me well enough. Which game? If I start playing it, there's no me for
Dune.
the next month. Yeah.
Dune. Yes. Okay.
It's Dune 2000 is there with my save game. So if I ever start playing that in your neighborhood, take a baseball bat and hit me on the top of the head.
No. I'm just going to leave you. Leave it to
Leave it to it.
Yes.
And you're going to come back in a week to check if I'm still alive.
Nah, you're old enough.
I'm old enough. Oh, thank you.
Okay. So then, Notepad++.
I don't use any advanced editing applications apart from Microsoft Word. I love Notepad++. I'm with you there. I have it on one of my VMs for editing PowerShell files, but I don't have it on my laptop.
I use it exclusively for the regular expressions. This is
Perfectly reasonable.
Yes, because this is the only application that I know that has regular expressions that are working, but at the same time the application itself is working also.
Can I trigger you?
You could try.
That's why I have VI improved in Windows.
I'm sorry.
In
any case,
I don't. I was just teasing you.
Yeah, just go. If you install Joy in Windows, then I'm going to.
Oh Lord.
Then I'm going to be with you. Then the other thing, Visual Studio Code.
No, thank you.
It has become an immensely useful, useful application because it's able to it is able to understand the syntax and structure of almost anything there is.
We use it in VMware Labs a lot.
Yes, and it is able to understand Python. It is able to understand Lua. It is able to understand other specific languages like PowerShell and so on.
JSON format.
Yes,
like
XML and so on. So Visual Studio Code is good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm surprised because
it works in Linux as well.
Yes and no. I was using Sublime before that. I was using Atom a lot, and then I realized that Visual Studio Code is basically much quicker to run than all of them.
Okay.
And it is capable of doing what I need it to do. So Visual Studio Code is the thing that I use.
I don't have any advanced editors on my laptops.
I just have a text editor for Notepad+ for all the text editing
Notepad.
that I need. Not really.
No, I do it in Notepad, and something is in WordPad for a variety of reasons.
I will just say that whatever I needed to do, I was able to do in the Notepad++ because usually I need to redo a configuration on network device or something else, so I need to do a lot of quick find and replacing, and this is easier to do in the Notepad++. But it's just the workflow.
No argument for me there, but you know how I write my code. Basically, just start typing it from the top of my head, so I don't need any advanced functionalities, and it keeps me trained.
Okay.
You know how I write PowerShell code. I just start typing in Notepad.
Okay. So then, Windows PowerToys.
I did not use Windows PowerToys for, I think, 20 years or so. They used to be PowerToys back in 98, 95. Yeah, I remember that. I did have them then. No, I don't have them now. What specifically do you use from that stack of tools?
For some reason or the other, they changed in the last couple of years. And what they did is that they included first, what they did is that they upgraded. There is a lot of PowerToys available to you.
File Explorer add-ons, stuff like that. Yeah, I remember.
Yes, this is one thing.
Always on top, color picker, fancy zones.
Yes, but the one that I use the most probably is Run.
Okay.
There is also a utility that I always completely failing to remember. That has the same capability. So basically, you press Alt and Space, and you get a search that is working. So it is able to provide me with an application or whatever I'm trying to look for.
Okay.
And it completely removed the necessity of using the search in the start menu.
Excellent.
And this is a nice thing. So basically,
Because Windows Search doesn't work.
yes. So this is the thing that I like because it enables me to run any application without using my mouse.
You know what's my favorite part of Windows Search?
The complete surprise of what's going to happen.
Yes, specifically when I start typing, so I go to Windows key, which initiates the search through the menu, and then I start typing work, and look what it gives me. There is no scenario in which I type work and need word, and vice versa.
Also, the amazing part of the Windows search is that if you are using because for some reason my Windows installed on this laptop installed in creation. So this is a creation version of Windows.
I had a recent experience with that last week with my new laptop.
So the most amazing thing is that you can actually use this. If I type in the English version of what I'm trying to search for. So, for example, Device Manager. It is going to provide me with the setting or something. This one is not it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
This
I
is
know.
basically not it.
I know.
Then
Tried that.
if I take a look at the applications, it is going to say, okay, there is no something like this. But if I say device, it is going to be providing me with things that actually could be used. So this is just a.
I love the conditionals.
This is just a fuzzy logic way of maybe sort of kind of trying to find this.
Maybe on the 16th decimal.
So calculator, you can type in the English version. You're going to get the English version. You're going to get the creation line version. It's completely, as I said, inconsistent, but it sometimes sort of kind of works.
Please explain to me, or our Microsoft connoisseur. I typed work. Why is it Word? You can see it.
I don't know it works here also.
Because you don't have VMware Workstation installed.
But let me say POSA.
Or job, work.
This is completely wrong. Anyways, let me just to end this thing. Let's just.
We need to go through some other applications that we use as well. We have.
Yes. You can, but I'm just going to go through one single
super useful
website that I'm always using, and this one is Ninite or Ninite. Basically, this website, if you are not familiar with it, I know that you are, but let's be general. It basically enables you to choose from the given set of applications. There is a lot of things here, so you can choose browsers, messaging applications, media applications, runtimes, imaging, and so on and so on and so on. You can choose the applications that you need to, that you want to use. And then it creates an installer that is going to silently install all the applications at once. So basically what it does...
That's the SCCM that works.
Even better. You get an application installer that is going to install all the applications completely silent. So first. The second thing is that if you rerun the installer at the later date, all the applications that are inside it are going to get updated silently. And it is going to work.
I like that.
So this enables me to completely install my laptop in probably under 10 minutes without thinking about it. And
I like that a lot.
So this is one of those things that I actually need whenever I'm installing anything because...
Which is often.
Yes. So this is a good thing. And then also this is a way of remembering about the applications that you usually don't remember about. For example, 7-zip that you forget but you need. Things like, I don't know, let me check, Python, Google Earth. So different things that you might want on your laptop for some reason or the other, but you're going to always forget to install because you don't think about it at all.
Okay.
Okay, now for you.
When we were discussing online platforms, I forgot Adobe Connect, but a story for another day.
There is a reason to forget it.
Yes, there is. For example, it's not all that good. And the second reason on my side is the fact that still the professional sound cards don't necessarily work with it. But okay, let me go back.
I was just thinking about this. The main reason why people forget, I don't know, traffic accidents. It's just your brain actively tries to forget about it because
it just pisses you off.
It's too scary. It's too scary to think about.
So what else do I have? I have FileZilla. This is for something related to Red Hat Academy.
Yes.
I have Dell's Global VPN client. I just noticed that, again, for one of the clients. I have a couple of utilities to test stuff, like hardware, like HD tag. I have battery monitor as well, a couple of things, especially on this laptop, but on most of them. Not anymore, but you used to have those.
Okay, but this is because you're using a Dell laptop.
Yeah.
on ThinkPad, you don't need this.
Thank you very much. I have image burn on all my computers or something to that effect, because oftentimes I do need to burn the CD or something like that. On all of my computers, I have Mendeley Desktop for quoting. Mendeley is a database for scientific papers.
Yes.
What else? Okay, OneDrive Teams, that's all covered. NetSet Manager.
Yes.
Very useful utility.
Yes.
I have Nmap when I try to do a little bit of port surfing.
Nmap or ZenMap?
No, Nmap.
There is ZenMap that has a graphical interface for the Nmap.
Why would I need a graphical interface for Nmap?
It looks nice.
No, I don't care.
Okay.
But coincidentally, I have OBS, which I don't use, so nobody cares. What else? I have a couple of audio applications. I have Reaper, free one, and Audacity, always on my computers. Because
Audacity is nice.
Oh yeah, at times I need to edit some audio. I have some recovery tools like Recover. A lot of people use that as well. I'm not talking about the drivers for my smart cards for access to let's say e-banking solutions, whatnot. That's completely beside the point. Starwind V2V converter, virtual to virtual converter, very useful utility. Tableau Reader, that's for me acting as your manager to check the scores of surveys and whatnot. Total Commander, always on every single one of my computers, from the days of Norton Commander in DOS. MC is Midnight Commander, I always have on my Linuxes as well.
Yes.
Same thing. Virtual Connect support utility, we have a HP Blade here, so I need to have that utility to configure the networking and fiber channel part. In terms of multimedia, VLC and Winamp, nothing else. I don't need anything else anymore. What else? I do have VNC Viewer. Real VNC Viewer, but I never use it because nobody uses that in my world anymore. WinRAR, WinSCP, WireGuard, yes, that's a VPN application. Sorry, forgot about that one. Wireshark. Well, oftentimes, because of our work, we have to debug network. So Wireshark is mandatory. And that's that. No, I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary, and even checking through my desktop in terms of the icons that I have on it, nothing really stands out anymore. I have a stack of utilities that I need to do my work. I have a couple of multimedia applications, some business apps. That's that. I don't care about anything else anymore.
The things that I also need to mention, because I forgot, Spotify.
I don't have an app. I use it in a browser.
Yes, I have an app because I want to be able to quickly, whenever I'm doing something, I'm usually using my laptop. If I'm outside of the normal desktop, I'm using my laptop basically as a speaker.
Coincidentally, that's one of the reasons why I introduced a small mixer in our working environment in our office, so that when you leave your Spotify on, so that I can silence it.
Okay, this is the one thing, and the other is multiplicity.
Never used that.
Basically, do you remember Synergy, the application that enables you to use one mouse and one keyboard across
multiple computers?
Multiple computers, yes. Multiplicity is the same thing.
I heard about it now that you mentioned. I just remembered, but never used it.
I used it. I first used Mouse Garage. Mouse Garage was an application done as basically Microsoft own internal experiment with application that enables you to do things across Windows.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if I have my laptop next to my desktop, I can use the screen from my desktop, the keyboard
Good.
and the mouse of my desktop. I can use it to connect to my laptop, and use my laptop as the another screen, another computer, without ever touching the laptop itself.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
good.
now I switched over to multiplicity because it is nicer and it is much easier to use if you need to do the copy and paste files and so on.
Is it commercial or is it free?
It's commercial, but I think it's I wouldn't say it's expensive. It's something like $10 or so.
Sounds reasonable.
So I didn't care. I bought it at a sale. It's on Steam, and I just
Okay.
install it, and that's it.
Do you know what's one of my let's say work-related utilities that I always have installed on all my computers, sometimes even on some servers? The DigiCert utility to create certificates
Okay.
and certificate signing requests.
Yes, I understand why.
Incredibly useful utility.
Yes, because the only solution other than this is OpenSSL with.
Or you can go and create CSRs online, but you will have to search for the correct one, etc.
Yes,
This
but
works.
OpenSSL with 3 lines of
Options,
Yes,
minus
yes,
X509, minus this, minus that.
There is also one that I'm using on Linux service, Wormhole.
Okay.
That enables you to basically directly connect to different directories across the internet, and then copy paste the files from one server to the other. But I'm scared to use it on customers that are more, I would say, that I care about. So there are customers that I don't care.
Unlike LastPass.
Yes. So the customers that that I care about, but I don't think that they're so. If something happens to them, nothing is going to be wrong there. I'm using Workhome with them. Usually, if I have the customers that are safety conscious, I'm going to use the normal USB stick to transfer files. So air gapping is something that I actually do, and even so, I'm sometimes using things that may be considered not so safe.
LastPass.
LastPass is yes, okay. You got me there.
Oh, that was
Yes,
previous episode.
Yes, it was okay. So, anyways, anything else to add? from your
Yes,
side?
just one more thing.
Yes.
If I am in charge of doing systems maintenance for a company or infrastructure or whatnot, and usually for the companies that I work for, I am, including the one that we are working for. If I'm the one who has the capability to do VPNs, so to create VPN connections, profiles, whatnot, I force my users to use IPsec.
Okay.
No exception.
Okay.
There are a couple of reasons, but actually it's not necessarily only security related. It's because of the fact that the SSL VPNs are much more resource intensive than IPsec.
Yes.
Much more. I mean, it's on certain devices we're talking orders of magnitude more resource demanding. But at the same time, generally speaking, people consider this to be safer than SSL VPNs, IPsec, especially when done with certificates. But let's not get into that.
Yes, but
I have tokens for the IPsec as well. So
okay. Anyways, the VPNs are something that we could actually create an episode out of.
we could and we should.
Yes, because the VPNs are something that the people are using the path of least resistance, and a lot of them are using the configuring the VPNs in such a way that basically whatever was being done back way then when somebody configured the VPN is
That's
not working. That's it. Nothing is going to change. The certificates are not going to be changed. I saw a lot of places where the certificates were created for the 10-year period or 20-year period.
Which brings me to another episode that we should do. When to use certain types of devices and where, in which use cases. My gripe is when enterprise customers start using Microtech devices for everything. There's a time and there's a place.
Yes, and this is the reason why I'm strictly against using whiteboards in the classrooms, and I want my blackboard back with chalk and...
Screeching chalk.
Yes, because it wakes people up, And the other thing is much easier to clean than the whiteboard that we have here.
Yeah, that's why I use iPad-based whiteboard.
Yes, okay, but anyways, these are
We could do
the...
an episode about those utilities as well, or maybe the tools that we use on our tablets.
We could create an episode on how do we actually manage all the devices that we have, because we start...
Manually, of course.
We don't.
Yeah, I know.
I have there is also one thing in my backpack. Since I already have one ThinkPad that is can be considered. So this is X1 Yoga. So it can be considered ultralight laptop.
Mm-hmm.
I decided the best way to run Linux on a ThinkPad is to have another one.
Of course.
So I have another Yoga in my backpack that is running Linux.
That's so in tune with your character, man.
And the main reason that I'm not using it day to day is because I cannot get myself to install everything on Linux again after I installed all my Windows machines.
Yeah, that's going to take you weeks, but we are still waiting for our student to create that video that we asked him to do about
Yes.
Windows Linux desktops.
Yes, but I have a thing that I need to finish before we finish the thing. Do you think that it is easier to use SSH and use different devices, Linux devices from Windows desktop? Because I think that the way a Linux desktop is set up today, things like MobiXterm, things like FileZilla, things like WinSCP and so on, make Linux more usable from the Windows desktop than from the Linux desktop.
My point exactly. That's the reason why I use Windows desktop and not Linux desktop. You just described it perfectly. Nothing
But this
to
is
add.
the year of the Linux desktop.
It's not. It is never going to be a year of a Linux desktop. Sorry, don't cry.
Okay.
I'm going to comfort you with chocolate.
No, but the thing that I saw is that if I want something done from the Linux desktop, it usually is simpler to fire up the Windows subsystem for Linux and then to run something in compatibility mode because it is going to work. And then I use the rest of the Windows applications for the Linux administration.
Nothing to add.
SQL, we should do an episode on this because SQL client is better.
In WSL?
No, in Windows.
In Windows, okay.
So there is a better SQL client. There is a better SSH client that I know of. There is a better...
Sorry, Power BI desktop application trumps all of those database / various data sources.
Okay.
Access methodologies.
Okay, but if I need to do anything on, for example, MySQL, there is a better
Power
client.
BI desktop is still better for that than anything Linux has.
Yes. This is one of the problems with the Linux desktop. So all the things that we said, and we are first and foremost guys who are actually working the Linux part.
You're not. You're a Windows dude.
Yes, but the reason why I'm the Windows dude is because everything works in Windows. In Linux,
No, it doesn't.
In Linux, everything works, but it takes a hell of a lot of time to get it connected.
You mean the Linux on desktop?
Yes.
Okay.
So okay, but just fire up. I don't know, Blue Jeans on Linux.
Me no wanna.
Yes, and this is the thing that actually surprised me because when Red Hat is primarily using, or it was primarily using Blue Jeans,
Still is.
and Blue Jeans is terrible in Linux.
It is. It's terrible overall.
Okay, it's worse in the web browser.
It is.
I think that desktop.
Everything is worse in the web browser.
No.
Give me one online platform that works better in web browser than in its own client, please. Take from now to eternity.
VMware.
We're talking about an online platform. VMware is not an online platform.
But the client to run the online platform works better from the web browser. Sorry.
You mean the web client is better than the remote console? Are you freaking insane?
How are you going to run the vSphere?
With
control it.
VMware remote console,
Okay.
which I always do. I never use the tabs in the browser to I mean, I do from time to time because it's easier, because I don't want to wait for it to start, but not in Linux, for example. If,
No,
if it's a Linux machine, you don't
Yes,
do that
yes,
ever.
yes. Okay.
In Windows, it kind of works. There
Okay.
are certain rough areas
I'll take it as yes. This is a yes. This is a yes. You are trying to wiggle out of it, but
No.
it's a yes.
You're correct. I have no problems admitting that. But for me, the remote console is the way to do it in any case. Because even if you use the web console in Windows, there are a couple of resolution-related problems there.
But I'm not talking about controlling the VMs themselves.
Okay?
I'm talking about configuration of the vSphere itself.
It's a web browser-based configuration method.
Yes.
Okay.
So there is not a better version of.
Yes, but that was by design.
Yes, I know.
I think
You were asking just for a common thing that is better from the web browser.
No. You're skimping on the truth. It's not because it's better. It's because that is the only way. There's a difference there.
I think that
but the fat client.
We should be the ones who are creating the Electron version of the.
No, the fat client, as we used to call it, the Windows application.
Yes.
A lot of people still miss that, and I have to concur with that because it was a really good app.
Okay.
I have it installed here, by the way. You can still see it on my desktop. For some of my older, let's say, environments. It doesn't work on the newer environments, but for some of the older ones, there are still a couple of those in my client's infrastructure. I have to have it.
Okay, so let's wrap up.
Wrap up.
Wrap up, yes.
Wrap up.
Okay.
Too legit to quit?
No, I'm completely off. You are going off the rails.
I just warmed up to my working temperature, man. It's only almost midnight.
So we are recording for all of those who are actually following us this long. We are recording almost all of those things after 10 o'clock in the evening. So it's normal for us to be completely off the rails.
Yes, comes with the territory.
Yes. So, okay. Thank you for your applications.
Thank you for your applications. And some of those that you mentioned actually might be useful for me as well.
I know.
Hence the reason why I suggested that we do the episode.
Okay, let us know if there are any applications that you use on the daily basis.
Yeah, maybe we could get some experiences from our viewers, listeners, whatnot. Leave us a comment, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Okay, see you guys.